Welcome back to A Celtic State of Mind. It's half time in Como, and the score currently is Al-Ahli 1, Celtic 0. So I spoke at before the match about the fact that this was very much a team largely made up of what you'd call bench players, guys who are maybe in and around the first team squad. No youngsters, but certainly players who comprise of, at this moment in time, very much the first team squad. And we've spoken lots about the need for more quality and depth. So there was an opportunity here tonight in that first half for some of these players to step up and show that they actually belong and within the first team and actually can make the step up to the first 11. To quote my colleague John Yogi Hughes, a lot of these players are taking the opportunity to show that they belong in that second choice pool. I think that's maybe a fair summation of the first half. But I'm keen to get your comments and your views on it. Not maybe the performance that we were looking for, but we will talk now about that first half and see what we thought. Jungle Lion, Celtic are a hard watch. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I don't think it was a fantastic performance, friendly or not, no buzz or momentum. I think that means momentum. Yeah, a bit one-paced. We're not really creating very much. We were actually on the back foot, I felt, for large parts of that. Apart from one only chance, McCowan almost breaks into the box, and referee plays advantage. We might have been better to have the foul there. One thing that's been mentioned by quite a few people: the Saudi team does seem to have quite a lot of big individuals. And they are using their power and their pace quite well. We know they've got some real talent in there with Mahrez, who's obviously now off the park. Ivan Toney, etc. Even the goalkeeper Mendy, top player. So, and it was a very, very good goal that we lost. But what are your thoughts on the goal? Is that one that we should be defending better, or do we just put that down to a very, very talented finish? Mr. C comes in to say performance not the worst. I wouldn't say nothing that distresses me, nothing that impresses me, nothing discovered we don't already know. So, training. Yeah, but so close to the start of the season, and we're not wanting to see something more akin to our actual, our first team level, as it were. Mikey boy, not seen for a while, sir. Welcome back to the channel. Glad this pre-season schedule have filled the team with plenty of confidence. I detect some sarcasm there. Hard watch again. This is a weaker side and no confidence. We will strengthen appropriately ahead of the Champions League qualifier. Champions League quality will be hard. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Actually, I think at this moment in time, I'm a little bit nervous about the Champions League qualifier. How did you read any individual performances on that first half? Let me know in the comments. Was there anyone who stood out in particular, either positively or negatively, who really didn't cover themselves in glory? And is there any signs of hope for the start of the season in terms of any of the players on the park? It was good to see AJ back, for example. Has Carter Vickers done better than he did in the previous match? How is he playing alongside Trusty, for example, and Inamura. Inamura seems to be spending a lot of time almost in the middle of the park. Certainly seems to like that inverted kind of role and is spending a lot of time, quite forward thinking. But is he good enough defensively? Because that was the criticism largely levelled at Greg Taylor. Paradise View, you're coming in on X. Welcome. We look shattered after 20 minutes. Not a good sign. I think we looked a bit leggy there. There's also a few comments around about the pitch as well. As the pitch being overwatered, it looks saturated to the extent that it's quite heavy. So maybe heavy on the legs there as well, and a few players sliding about. But both sets of players are having to deal with that. So certainly not using that as an excuse. John Paul II, you come in to say Sinisalo got to save that again. I think it was Simon Donnelly on commentary, when we could hear commentary, of course. But Simon Donnelly on commentary did say, was a kind of greasy ball with the surface. But I think he was maybe just caught out by the quality of the strikes. There's not many of those kind of acrobatic volleys that hit the mark, and I think it was a very good finish. But did we do enough to defend it? That is the question. James Devine, good to see you, sir. Not seen for a while. Good evening to you too. Let's see. John McGovern comes in there. Keeper may as well be on a boat in Lake Como, poor half for me. It is a lovely location. I mean, if there's nothing else, the location that they're playing in is absolutely lovely. I'm a big fan of Italy, and I've been out to the lakes, and it's one of the prettiest places on earth. But yeah, can't say the same for the performance on the pitch tonight. JJ Celtic, I can't bring a comment up because you got a naughty word in there. Yeah, I see you haven't spelled it. Well, I'm not going to bring it up anyway, but I will read it out. If the board can't see we need players, we're not in good shape, I think. So I'm paraphrasing there, but yeah, you can guess the term that was used. Brown Warrior comes in. Nice to the positive comment. Bernardo was excellent, very composed in possession, always looking for the positive pass. Anyone thinks Young's ahead of Forrest is deluded. I think Forrest is actually he's done okay. Most of the good work that's came from the Wings has came from Forrest's side. Unfortunately, that does mean that we're not seeing a great deal from Marco Tilio, who does look, even just by his physical stature, does look kind of out-muscled on that side. That said, he did contribute to a couple of little passages of play towards the end of the half, but we need much more creativity. And yeah, I think Bernardo certainly seems to be playing that number 6 role for me. He's the deepest of the midfielders. Engels seems to be going from kind of back to front. Albeit I don't think again he's managing to influence the play enough. McCowan definitely the most forward of the three, but again outside of that first kind of foray into the box, I've not seen a great deal from him. James, you're back in saying another disappointing performance. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. It's quite disappointing. There's not a lot of excitement coming through. What have we made about Johnny Kenny? He's up there, he's leading the line. He's got into some relatively good positions, but not much really coming his way. He's not really managed to make too much stick there. Are we seeing enough from him? I think he had at least one header which went over the bar, and one kind of run in where he got ahead of the defender, right side of the defender, but couldn't get the contact on it. Colin Bean, you're in. Well, that was massively uninspiring, wasn't it? Not good. Yeah, I think this is a problem. We're really looking for something to give us a little bit of confidence as we come into the start of the new season that we are, and at least as good as, if not better shape than we were last season. And this is a debate: are we a weaker team than we were last year? I think it's fair to say we've probably enhanced left back position when Tierney's playing, and I think Nygren's definitely a good addition. But overall, collectively, are we better? I think we've got a real deficit in creativity at the moment. Paddy Owens on Kenny, he's not a first choice for you. Is Adam Eden then the first choice at the moment? Is that, as I said the other night, is that by default, or is Shin Yamada? Will we see him in the second half? Could he be a player that will come in and give us that little bit of inspiration? Mike McPherson coming in, maybe a little harsh, but I don't think Arne Engels will make our second 11. He's not having, I would consider he's not having a great pre-season. And I think, the criticisms that he's faced, even through his first season, I don't think he's done a lot to dissuade that. So he will, at this point, carry those into the new season. And so there's a big challenge on him to prove that he merits a place. As I say, now with the competition within that midfield three, you'd be looking at Nygren to be almost a surefire addition in there. If Kalmak plays, then who would drop out for Engels at this point? I would be loath to say that Hatate would drop out, because I think Hatate gives you more creativity at this point. So yeah, big challenge on Engels, but like I said, that's the hope is that the players will rise to the challenge. Kevin McNichol, you come in to say Sinisalo miles off Schmeichel. Hopefully, that stops all the nonsense about him being number 1 this season. Kenny and Taylor like playing with 9 men. Is that harsh on Sinisalo? I mean, yes, a lot of people may be saying could have done better with the goal. I don't think he's done too much wrong other than that. He did make quite a good interception with the cross ball coming through. I don't think we've seen enough of him to determine whether or not he is capable of playing number 1. He did come in for a spell towards the end of last season. I think he did well. A lot of people would have put him in for the cup final. But we know what quality Schmeichel brings to the table as well. So yeah, it's definitely a question and a debate that I think will go on over the course of the season. Let's see here. Brown Warrior back in. They were sharp and more athletic and working very hard, closes down well. I think that's an important point. This is a decent outfit. We know I mean, everybody's got the perception of Saudi football, but they've thrown a lot of money at it, and they have brought in some top players. I say we mentioned Tony, we mentioned Mahrez, we mentioned Mendy, we've got Maxim on the bench there as well. So they've got quality players, and I think it was the Brazilian. I forget his name, but the Brazilian who scored the goal looks excellent as well. John Gilmore, you're earning your corn tonight, Chris. It'll be a hard shift by the looks of it. Yeah, I'm taking one for the team tonight, shall we say? Because a lot of the guys are at Barazat Design, where they are premiering the movie, the documentary, Ange and the Boss, and it was about Ferenc Puskas and Ange's interactions with him throughout his career. So should be a good watch, and I hope everybody there is having a great time. I certainly think it maybe be a more interesting watch than what we're seeing so far. And I do feel sorry for anyone who's having to watch me instead. The jagged god comes in to say it's like watching dancing on ice. Yeah, they are slipping around a bit, but weirdly, I would have to say I think the Saudi players look as though they're coping with it a little better. So maybe that's something we have to look at it. We spoke about kind of physicality. Sean's coming in and say Celtic players little boys physically compared to them. We've got a few smaller players. They do seem to have big guys in terms of stature, and is that something we maybe need to address? So it'll be interesting to see. Slabber and Cabbage now. The last time you give me a comment, I get cut off. So I'm going to do this tentatively. It says, "Don't worry, Chris. We'll win 4-1 and you'll end the shift a hero." That would be nice. It is the thing you dread when you're watching the match. You know you've got to come on to host. Is that if it's a good result, it does tend to be an easier shift. But I would say that I'm quite enjoying talking to you guys here, and you guys have given me plenty of content to work for. So to work with rather. So that's good. Tony C, welcome to the channel. Just get Yamada on at half time and see if we have at least one proper striker. Well, this is it. We don't want to make too many sort of prejudgments on a player we've not seen enough of. We won't know how good Yamada is until he gets minutes. So yeah, I'm very similar to Tony. I would like to see Yamada on. I don't think Kenny's done too much wrong tonight. I just think there's not been a lot of creativity, and I think we've been on the back foot for large parts of it. But look, this is the opportunity, right? At the end of the day, it's a nothing game in terms of consequence, but we want to see indications that we're moving in the right direction. So, you know, if Yamada can come on and give us a good performance, I think it'll at least buoy the support a little bit. Sean O22 or O22 comes in and says, please change the entire front line. What have we made of Telio? Telio, I believe there's rumours that he's been playing very, very well in training. There's also rumours that he's heading back to Australia. I will be honest and say that I didn't recognise Telio for large parts in that game. I couldn't, I was struggling to pick him out. I've seen such, so little of him. Towards the end of the half there, he was linking up a little bit with AJ. He did get a shot. There's one moment where I think he used the strength for someone of relatively small stature. He used the strength to kind of get ahead of two defenders, but then you see that physicality where he is kind of sandwiched and knocked off the ball quite easily. Is he doing anything to give you confidence that he could play a part this season, or is that a case of no? You've had your chance and time to go. Strange Love the Doctor, you're coming to say Trusty, Hayato, Anamura, Arnott and Paulo all look pretty good. I've been trying to watch Anamura, for example, and I found it quite fascinating that he looks pretty comfortable on the ball, looks pretty good going forward. I found that he's coming into almost that number 6 position at times. He's coming into the centre of the park quite a lot and trying to help with the attack. My concern is, and it's something we levelled at Greg Taylor, is what happens if we lose possession then and one of those balls gets fired across to our left-hand side. Is that adventurous kind of nature of his where he wants to come forward? Does that leave us exposed, and will better teams or more competitive games, will we be exposed at that point? So maybe something to watch out for. But having said that, I'm quite impressed with the player overall. He doesn't look phased coming into the team, so that's good. That's good to see. River C, you're coming in. Engels and Bernardo look pretty good in my opinion. Tell you it's a positive place to help us maintain possession. CCV looking rusty as the DJ. I think that's fair. I mean, they're only just back. We do want to get minutes into them, but I don't think either player is up to speed, particularly AJ. But we know when he is on his game how good he is. Who else have we got? Steve Barrowman. Yeah, this is interesting. Telio sleeping for the goal, never followed a man into the box and then made a dash when he noticed. I did wonder when I was looking at the build up to the volley that was scored by Al-Ahli, did we do enough to pressure the player. It seemed to me that he had quite a lot of time to position himself and get into that kind of movement to make that acrobatic goal. And I think when he makes contact, it does look as though Tillio's the one trying to get in there. So has he maybe not tracked the run? And we've spoken about Yang, maybe some things not tracking plays and tracking his man. So yeah, maybe very much could be something he needs to work on. But I think he can't take anything away from the goal. I think it was a tremendous technique to put that one in. So I think we just check. I think the players are about to come back on. So look, I've not noticed I'll get any changes. Hopefully we make some changes. We've got plenty of options on the bench. Lots of established first-team players. I'd like to see more of Nygren coming on. We'd like to certainly see Shin Yamada. And maybe there'll be some runs for players like Dane Murray. Maybe KT will get on it and give us a little bit more of a spurt in that second half. Listen, 1,500 of you watching me on the halftime show. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate all your comments. It's fantastic. I will be back at full time, irrespective of performance and results. So I hope you'll join me then. But all that's left for me to say is thank you for joining me at half time on a Celtic State of Mind. See you soon.